Councilor Seer.
Thank you. One thing that I heard is the quality of whitefish, especially down in the Williams Ave area, where that park hasn't had any work done on it for as long as I've been alive, anyways. You know, I take that back. The only work that has been done in that park is they brought a slide from Clark Street Park back in the 70s, in the swing set, back from the 70s, which when it was in Clark Street Park, was probably put in the 30s or the 40s, and I'm not kidding. You know, people that live in the William Street area deserve the same thing as someone that lives down by McManus Field or anywhere else in the city. And I agree, we got to start somewhere. And there is a process, and it should be about fairness. But as I stated earlier, I wasn't involved in that process at all. The concerns of my ward were not brought to the process yet. You know, as I said, I'm a ward councilor, and there are 4 at-larges that represent the entire city. And, you know, Ward 4 is just as important to them, or it should be, as it is to me. As all the ward councilors' wards are. You know, I don't know what the fear is about if it does go over the 4 million, to allow it to go out to the voters. Because obviously, it seems like there are a lot of people who are in favor of this. And if that's the case, then give the entire city the opportunity to voice their opinion, and the way you do that is through a vote. You know, people in my ward, I'm just honest, I think they deserve this, they should get it, and I'm going to stick to my amendment. I mean, this amendment.
Councilor Barton.
Council President, being a resident of Ward 3, I can sympathize with what Councilor Seer is saying, but I don't see sending this backwards. I mean, we're going forward right now, and I think we need to keep going forward. And when the time comes, I think maybe me and Councilor Seer should have a sit down with the mayor and see if she'll put the money in there for that, which she said she would.
Councilor Trahant.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to go a little back with Councilor Seer. I also was never kind of in the loop with this. I got maybe $50,000, $60,000 out of this $4 million. But someone really touched me earlier. Dave Dorgan, last summer, well, actually last spring, his Lynn Shore was in jeopardy of, really like their enrollment was down. Their field was a mess. Lynn Shore was going to have to, kind of join in with some other leagues. And Dave worked hard. He got everybody involved. He got a bunch of the guys from Babe Ruth. I actually happened to be one of the guys who went down there. He got everybody motivated. They went down, they did that whole field over. I mean, they brought that whole field. It's just like the Field of Dreams. You can ask Councilor Seer. It's in his ward. I was down there. And it's sad to see him come tonight. The poor man's got a beautiful field now. He's got his enrollment back up. He's got teams back there playing. Everybody's excited to play there. Like you said, he's got a couple hundred kids down there now. The poor guy doesn't even have a lawnmower. He can't even cut the grass. You know? And you're going to leave a guy like that out? There's a guy that, he could have just walked away. But he's made an investment in the city. He's got kids down there. He's got his own kids down there. He cared about all those inner-city kids to take time out of every one of his weekends, all spring, all summer, all fall, to make sure these kids had someplace to play and somewhere to go, and he can't even cut the grass. He's got to call DPW. He's got to call them. No, it's terrible. These guys should have been in the loop. Wyoma's up here asking for help. I mean, this process was done wrong. It was done wrong. Everybody should have been in the loop. It's not a Westland, it's not, against Eastland, it's not about being unfair, but everybody should have had a say. I got a ton of things here. After Darren's vote, I got Babe Ruth down there. Bunch of guys, 10 or 15 same guys every year. Make that place go. They don't get any funding. They continue to put $20,000, $30,000 a year into the place. The place is beautiful. 600, 700 kids a year use it. they need some help, they need some money, they need a new lawnmower, they need to fix up the fields. No one even asked them. No one even asked. This is down in West Lynn. It's a beautiful place. Right there, Bill Devin was here tonight for the basketball court and the tennis court right next door to it. No one even approached them. No one even asked them. I'm all for the bond. There's no one more about the kids and the fields than me, but I just think there's some more people that need to be in the loop with this. It's not just the councilors. I think the people that are running these sports programs and all these youth groups, they are the people that are putting in the work. Those are the people that know what we need. Not us, and not just a few of us, but all of us need to touch base with all these people. I mean, I got, after Council C, I'm going to sit here and I've got important things. I've got schools here. We've got $50,000 allotted for schools and $4 million. We got 26 schools. We got 26 schools, right? We got 4 in high priority, urgently. We got $4.4 million here from Mr. Duncan, from ISD. $4.4 million of important things. Things like bricks falling off the sides of the schools, water going in the buildings, mold growing. Those are important issues. Those should be on the bond. Years ago, and I was here, our former mayor, Chip Clancy, invited us all, asked us what we all needed, and we went out for like a $10 million bond. The schools were on there too. Half of it was the schools, half of it was some buildings, half of it was some playgrounds. If you're going to do this, do it right. I don't know what everybody's afraid of. You heard 200 people here tonight raise their hand, come up here and speak, and tell you that they'll support it. They want to see the city fixed up as much as we do. They want to see it as much as we do. Don't be afraid about sending it out to the voters. They want schools for their kids. The foundation of a good city is your schools. It's the reason people come here. It's the reason people leave. You need good schools. And yeah, you need good playgrounds and parks, and that's all part of it, and that's great. But don't leave out the schools, and don't leave out a few playgrounds, and don't leave out this one and that one. Include everybody. That's what it's all about. That's what Lynn is all about. Including everybody, bringing everybody together, and taking care of everybody. And this, in my mind, I'm all for it. I'm all for the bond. But let's put everything else on. Let's take care of everybody. That's all I'm asking for. Let's be fair. The mayor said it, we're not, let's be fair. What's fair for my ward, and Darren's ward, and Councilor Losey's ward should be fair for everybody's ward. Everybody should be able to take care of the people in their ward that are working hard to keep this city what it is. And we're going in the right direction. We're going in the right direction here. Let's not take care of half the people and half the problems. Let's fix the schools. Let's fix the playgrounds. We're going in the right direction. I plead to my colleagues, support these other things, amendments. Don't be afraid to send it out. This is the right thing to do. Take care of everybody.
Councilor Lozey.
Mr. President, thank you. My issue is not what's on this list, but what is not on the list, and I believe Councilor Trahan and Councilor Seer have touched on it. I just would like to read some recent accomplishments via our Community Development Office through state park grant funding and community development grant funding. Keeney Park, $608,000. High Rock Tower Park, $740,000. Flax Pond Park, $700,000. Lynn Commons, $300,000. Goldfish Pond, $35,000. Fraser Field, $25,000. Stone Tower, $290,000. Henry Ave, William Ave, these amount to almost $3 million of successful state funding grants to this city. And I know I'm speaking on Councilor Seer's amendment. I won't go too much into it, but I'm going to follow up with an amendment of my own for areas in Ward 1 that wouldn't even be considered for these grants, that the rest of the city would be covered for with these parks under state and federal grants. Ward 1 won't even be considered. They're not in the zone that would even be considered considered for a grant. So if there's any park in the city, you know, that deserves to be on this list, it should be these parks in Ward 1. And I'll be happy to outline the needs, the public safety issues with the parks. And Wyoming Little League, we heard from the president representing the league and the executive board, the largest little league in the city. They serve over 500 children in this city. And just like Babe Ruth and Lynn Shore Drive, excellent, wonderful volunteers that have put in countless hours of time and their money and effort to fix these parks, to take care of them. And they're not even eligible for a state grant. So I'm in favor of Councilor Sears' amendment, and I'm even going to offer my own amendment after we take care of that. So thank you, Mr. President.
Any additional comments on Councilor Sears' amendment? Okay, just so everybody understands and the public understands, I know we have a large audience here tonight and watching. This is just a vote on the amendment to add it to the main motion. Whether this passes or fails, a vote still would have to be taken on the main motion on the bond one way or another. So, if you could just read back, this is to add monies to the bond. Specifically, could you identify those again?
This would be to add $350,000 for various parks in Ward 3, which would be $75,000 to Williams Playground, increase Clark from $50,000 to $150,000, $150,000 for Carling Playground, and $25,000 for Goldfish Pond.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call.
Council Barton?
No.
No. Council Cahill?
No.
No. Council Capano?
No.
No. Council Calucci?
No.
No. Council Creighton?
No.
No. Council Seer?
Of course, yes.
Yes. Council Ford?
No.
No. Council Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Council Net? No. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. 7 no.
Any other amendments from the council? Councilor Trahan.
Thank you, Mr. President. These are just calls that I've received. I just want to go on public record as reading them, although it looks like the turnout's not going to be in my favor. I'm going to put them on here anyway. I got a call for $171,000. This is to remove the asbestos from 6 Lynn firehouses and some of the municipal buildings. Also, I've got $175,000 to replace some interior locks in our Lynn elementary schools, which I think in light of everything that's happened over the last week or so, that should be an important thing that people should think about before they make a vote.
If we can, why don't we do one of those one at a time, just so...
if you want to add them all up, whatever, however you want to do it.
Why don't we just do one at a time, just so people understand what they are.
Okay, I'll start with the asbestos, $171,000 to remove it from the firehouses.
171.
$171,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Councilor Seer.
Thank you. Again, you know, process of fairness, but there's asbestos in the firehouses that has to be removed. It's a safety issue. It's for the health and the well-being. Anybody that goes in and out of those buildings, it's our responsibility to make sure that they go to a safe place that they can go. That's why I'm in favor of the council not this proposal.
Any additional discussion on the amendment? Roll call.
Council Barton?
No.
No. Council Cahill?
No.
No. Council Capano?
No.
No. Council Calucci? No. Council Creighton?
No.
No. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford?
No.
No. Council Lozey? Yes. Council Net? No. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. 7 no.
Councilor Trahan.
Okay, I'll head on to my next one here. Is $175,000 to replace the interior door locks in our Lynn elementary schools.
Motion made. Is there a second? Discussion. Councilor Seer.
Without really getting into it, I don't know how any of the other councilors are aware of it, but that's definitely a safety issue. It's about the kids that go to our schools. You know, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. That it's probably, if anything is in this bond, or anything's gonna be, anyone's gonna be appropriated for anything, this is probably the most important, so that's why I'm in favor.
Motion made.
I'd just like to echo Councilor Sears' sentiments on that. This is probably one of the most important things I would think to vote on, if you're going to vote for anything.
Any additional comments? Councilor Cahill.
I think, Mr. President, if that is a need that then needs to be addressed immediately, we cannot wait months for a bond to be approved and certified and bonds to go out to the market. So I would find that inappropriate. That needs to be done immediately, not months.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Council Barton?
No.
No. Council Cahill?
No.
No. Council Capano?
No.
No. Council Calucci? Yes. Council Creighton?
No.
No. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford?
No.
No. Council Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Council Net? No. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. 6 no.
Councilor Trahan.
Next, I've got the Babe Ruth Complex. I talked about it earlier, down at Breed. They were looking for about $43,000. Again, it's about 10, 15 guys that run this whole place, do all 4 fields. It's probably used by 600 or 700 kids throughout the year. They do 4 ball. They do, you know, from April on to almost Thanksgiving. The place gets a lot of use. It needs a lot of repairs. And they were looking for $43,000. Again, Bill Devlin was here earlier, looking for, you know, to improve the basketball court and the tennis court. I can't see why anybody else who was all in favor earlier wouldn't be in favor of this, and it kind of ties into the whole field down there. But so I'd just like to make a motion to put $43,000 down to that.
In which field?
It's actually called it's the Babe Ruth Complex, the Bowser Complex.
Motion made and seconded. Councilor Seer, second. Discussion. Councilor Seer.
Thank you. Just to say to all my fellow councilors, I feel as though we wouldn't have to ask for these amendments to the bond if we were in the process from the beginning, which we weren't. We had maybe 1 or 2 discussions as to what's important to us in our lives. And out of those discussions, only one thing that I said was put on that list. And I've been saying ever since that we should have created a committee. We had 3 or 4 months to do it. It was never done. It seemed like there was no interest from the councilors who started this process, and that's okay. You know, I can see that where this is going, there's already been deals made. It's done. It's a done deal. So, and I can hear them all. That's what it is.
Any further discussion on the amendment? Roll call.
Council Barton?
No.
No. Council Cahill?
No.
No. Council Capano?
No.
No. Council Calucci? No. Council Creighton?
No.
No. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford? No. Council Lozey? Yes. Council Net? No. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. 7 no.
Councilor Trahan.
I'll carry on. Next one is actually for my ward. This is $120,000. This is for Keeney Park. This is for field improvements. I got a call from the athletic director. Football field, the practice field for Lynn English. Needs a lot of work. You heard Jeff Bird earlier talk about the basketball court and just repair. I'd like to also repair that so that the kids can play and no one gets hurt. So I'd just like to put that forward, $120,000 for Keeney Park improvements.
Motion made and seconded. The Keeney Park behind Lynn English. Discussion. Councilor Seer.
Thank you. Goes back to what Mr. Bird said about all the parks, how excited he was, but unfortunately not all the parks are. So, at least let's give him something. So, I'm in favor of it.
Any further discussion? Councilor Ford.
I give Council Trahan and Council Seer credit. They're very sincere and they care about the awards, and Council Lozzi also. But I want to tar every city and every street in the city. I'd like to fix every park in the city. But what we have in front of us is a select group of parks that we've talked about that are in dire repair. And let's accomplish one thing, and then we'll move to the next thing. Maybe it'll be a bond next year. Maybe it'll be the mayor stepping up and coming through with some money. For whatever reason, we can't keep going through these amendments and these ridiculous numbers, and it's not happening. I'd like to do it along myself, but we're not going to ever get to that number.
I'd just like to disagree with Councilor Ford. I think if we had maybe another couple $1 million to this, I think we can take care of everybody's, most of these parks and stuff that we've asked for. I think everybody would be included too. I think it would be a wonderful show of solidarity from this council to the people of the city, that we appreciate all the volunteer work that they do at these parks and playgrounds throughout the whole city, that we, that we support them, I think right now we're not showing that, just as far as, select few.
Councilor Lozzi.
Just a quick point to Councilor Trahan's comment. It would be less than $1 million to take care of the additional free ward concerns, parks and playgrounds. So thank you for that comment, Councilor.
Councilor Seer.
Thank you. I just want it right into the record that I am in favor of fixing all of these things that are on this list here for this $4 million one. But I also agree with what Councilor Ford said about when he used the term select. And that's one thing I do have a problem with, is it's a select few parks. It's not all the parks. And as Councilor Lozzi and Trahan have said, that for maybe $1 million more or even a little less, we'll be able to take care of the issues that I have, that Councilor Trahan and Lozzi have in their wards as well. I too want to pave all the streets. I wish I could do it in gold, so everybody could be happy and have a full plate of food on their table. But that's not the reality. The reality here is that we have to set a plan, we have to have a process, and do it, and it's about fairness, and that's how simple it is. So, and if we're here all night, and any other councils want to make amendments, so be it. That's what we're here for. So.
Councilor Ford.
In these circumstances, now we send it to a vote. We find a committee, we politics it. Let's just accomplish something tonight and move ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Seer.
Thank you. What we're asking you to do is accomplish something. Take care of the parks in our ward. And we can do that tonight with a yes approval to any of these amendments that we're making, with keeping the process going. We're not saying no to the bond. All we're asking you to do is add some things to it. That's all.
Councilor Ford.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you to the committee, to the council. The Barry Park bleachers are falling apart. I mean, it's endless. I could add 10 more things to the list. I'm just, there's no offense taken. I'm not trying to take sides. I just think this is accomplishing something. I commend these councils for fighting for the award. But it's endless. I have another 10 things I could ask for. I just want to get something done.
Councilor Seer.
Thank you. We're not asking for 10 things. I'm asking, I have 4 parks. I'm getting $50,000 for one park. What is that $50,000 even going to be spent on? All I see is the word Clark Street. Do you even know, how many of you even been in Clark Street Park? Do you even know what the problems or the issues are in Clark Street Park? When's the last time any of you played basketball? Oh, you can't play basketball because there are no hoops that are falling down. When's the last time you guys played tennis there? You can't because the tennis nets are gone. Go walk on the surface of the tennis court and see how dilapidated and how it's falling apart. Bring your little kids into that park and have them go on the swings or the slide, on the merry-go-round. Well, you can't go on the merry-go-round because it's broken. Same thing, you can't even go on anything down in Williams Park. And then the people who take care of those spots and clean them, are people who live in the area. They come in, they clean them, they cut the grass. And people like Dave Dodge who fix up Kyle Park every time there's a problem or an issue there. The city doesn't want to take care of it, Dave does. He brings a couple of his volunteers in there to do it. When the tennis court a couple of years ago needed to be fixed, we went out, we found a company that worked with us and helped us out. He gave us some money so we could paint the lines back on the tennis court there. All I'm asking for, and I know you've already voted no, but I see where Councilor Trahan's going, and you know, I don't know what else to say. It's not that we're trying to stop the future of the city or prevent anybody from doing anything in the park, but what we're trying to do is look for fairness for we live and the people we represent. That's all.
There is an amendment on the floor. Could you read the amendment?
For $120,000 for Keating Park field improvements.
Roll call.
Council Barton?
No.
No. Council Cahill?
No.
No. Council Capano?
No.
No. Council Calucci? No. Council Creighton?
No.
No. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford? No. Council Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Council Net? No. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. Motion fails 7-1.
Any other amendments? Any councils? Council Lozey.
Mr. President, thank you. It's been a long night. I'm going to try to be brief with my amendment as I think the writing is on the wall. However, I'd be remiss not to, or to essentially ask my constituents to pay more in taxes without representation for the parks in my area. As I mentioned earlier, the city has been successful in state and federal grants to the tune of almost $3 million in the last 3 years. Essentially, all of the parks we've been talking about tonight, both on the list and even off the list, could be covered under state park grant monies. The parks in Ward 1, however, are not in that zone and would not be covered, and it's essential that we get city dollars to improve these parks. So with that, I would like to ask for an amendment for $350,000 additional dollars to cover Gowdy Park, Magnolia Park, Lindenwood's Playground, and the Wyoming Little League. That's my
I'll second that motion.
Wyoming Little League Fields.
the Major League Field.
Okay. Do you have that? Yeah. Okay. There's a motion made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Council Barton?
No.
No. Council Cahill?
No.
No. Council Capano?
No.
No. Council Calucci? No. Council Creighton?
No.
No. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford?
No.
No. Council Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Council Net? No. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. Motion fails 7-0.
Any additional amendments? Any additional discussion on the main motion? Council Seer.
I don't know, I just wish that list could have been a little bit more in depth as to what the money is going to be spent, how it's going to be spent at all of these different locations. Clark Street, I'd just like to know what you're going to spend the $50,000 on. Simple question.
Is that a question to a particular councilor or
Well,
the chair?
it's a question to put the Clark Street on there, so I don't know how it got on the list, or who even compiled the list. So what I'm asking is,
Mr. President, the question is directed to one of the councilors who put it on the list. It was one of the projects suggested by community development, and I believe deals with a
variety of playground issues. I can't say specifically, but I hope that your input as a Ward 3 council will certainly help benefit your ward by helping with that project. So I appreciate your concern with it. Thank you.
Great answer, but still, it didn't answer the question.
Councilor Trahan.
Thank you. I just, through the chair to Councilor Creighton, why wasn't the ward councilor involved in it? If you were talking about something for his ward.
I don't want to delay this process any further than it has to be. Each council was notified in August by a written letter. Each council was followed up with a phone call. Each councilor was talked to in person. We've debated this 3 times before debate. Let's call the vote and let's move on tonight.
Rest assured, Councilor, that we are going to call the roll call. However, as you should know by now, I allow everybody to have as much say as they would like on the council floor. Councilor Knapp.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to say a few words. I want to give a lot of credit to Councilors CS, Trahan, and Losi for trying to amend these. These are great, but I wish these came up a lot, like a month ago or 2 months ago. It would be easy for us to work on, but tonight it's kind of too late, and I feel that it's time for us to move on, so we cannot go any longer. So I said it again. So we want people to start to work in spring, so that's why we move on. So I'm sorry to disappoint you anyway. So sorry. Thank you.
Councilor Calucci.
I got $50,000 in Sagamore Street, and I'm not complaining. It's not the end, it's just the beginning. I believe that the mayor, she's not what to do last. I think she got $12 million in surplus. There's bonds waiting to be approved. I think everybody's going to get their part back. I guarantee it.
That's comforting, Councilor Calucci. Councilor Sears.
Checkbook.
Thank you. I just want to say that I want to take up Council Martin and go in and see the mayor and get her to allocate some money. I tried to see if she can allocate some money for my ward. Again, I just want to say that I'm not opposed to the things on there. I just don't like the way it was done, the process. I can respect the 3 ward councilors who are getting what they want, and some of the other councilors who are getting what they want. I just want to wish everybody a happy New Year and a Merry Christmas, and that's it. I mean, I'm serious.
Councilor Trahan.
Thank you. I just also like to say the same thing as Councilor C. I'm certainly for the bond. I'm just totally disappointed in how it came about. It totally, we left so many people out. It's kind of people leave here and they watch on television. There's people that have called and said, why didn't you include me? Why didn't you include us? We work hard down that field, we work hard down here with the kids. Why didn't you include us? And I just look back to Councilor Nett, what he said earlier, I wish you guys said something a few months ago. Well, we could have said something a few months ago, but it would have put the bond over $4 million. And seeing by the vote tonight, no one would have listened. And one more thing, Councilor Nett. One thing in this world that you have is your word. And when you give your word, you have to stick by it.
Any additional comments? Any further discussion?
President,
Councilor Calucci.
in fact, if there's some money, like there's grants that come in, and there'll be surplus on this $4 million, it could be maybe the mayor's or the council discretion to how to spend that money.
Attorney Vitale. If I can make the question a little more direct. If the bond is approved and subsequent to the approval of the bond, if the city receives specific allocations of grant money for an overlap, something that's been approved with the bond. What happens to the bond money that's approved?
If there's any surplus funds, unless there's some designation of where they should go, those funds would not be expended, would remain with the city, not be spent. They would not be used.
Okay, so if the $4 million bond is approved, Council Pucci, I don't mean to speak for you. If the $4 million bond is approved, and let's say a grant comes into the GAR building, for example, and we've allocated X amount of dollars for the GAR building, what would happen to the funds that are allocated for the GAR building in light of obtaining a grant for the same purpose?
You can't pay twice for something, so if the grant were to take that money, then the allocation that was assessed in the bond would not be applied.
Okay, so we just wouldn't use the money?
Right.
And it wouldn't be in the general fund?
Right.
Thank you. Council Pucci, any additional questions?
I think we'd like to maybe use that money for Gavin's Park. Could we do that?
No, it goes back to the general fund.
Not unless a motion is made to allocate that money. I think as the mayor and the council has talked about earlier, that to authorize that money to be used for some other purpose in line with what this kind of infrastructure improvements are right now.
Does that answer your question?
Vaguely.
Council Kate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Although I somewhat disagree with your legal opinion, respectfully, I think there is room for some compromise in the sense that I would make a motion to amend the underlying bond proposal to allow the mayor to spend any unexpended bond funds on capital improvements throughout the city.
Second.
All right, is that an appropriate amendment?
I think that is, and I think is what I was trying to convey.
Okay. A motion has been made and seconded. Discussion.
Thank you.
Council Seer.
Thank you, Mr. President. To my fellow colleagues who made the motion, as the mayor sees fit, and throughout the state, still not taking care of us. And I'm talking about Councilors Lozey and Trahan and myself. I would like to see the amendment made so that if those funds do come in, if the grants do come in, like the ones that I stated, that those funds be used in either equally divided up amongst the 3 wards, or at least sit down with the 3 of us to ask us what our needs are. Because it's obvious that most of the rest of the city is getting what they need for their bodies, and we're not. So I'm asking you to amend your amendment.
Discussion, Councilor Trahan.
Thank you. I think that's a great idea. Why don't we, I think we can maybe all agree on this. Why don't we take any money that is left over from the bond, say if we get this grant money, to address these amendments in each of our wards as they come.
We're on discussion, so let's move, unless
Can we make that in the form of a motion to any money that's left, or does it have to go to the general fund if we can?
Okay. Before I recognize your motion, do you understand what Councilor Trahan is asking?
Right.
Trying to specifically allocate those monies for 3 particular wards, if in fact they do become available.
It's not even wards, really.
Or the failed amendments.
I would be more comfortable that there'd be left a surplus funds, as Councilor Cahill had suggested, be be used for capital improvements by way of the mayor. And then I think to designate something at this stage, I think would lead to trouble later on. I think you need to just spend the $4 million. If there is any excess, then decide how that money should be spent.
Councilor Cahill.
Mr. President, thank you through you, Mr. Vitale. I think this was resolved because should the bond be, as proposed today, be approved and the money is allocated and comes into at some point there has to be a transfer. So there has to be some negotiation between the council and the mayor, I believe, on the expenditure of those monies from the bond. So the council will at that point have input and negotiation with the mayor on how that's spent, correct?
Sounds reasonable to me, yes.
Okay, there's a motion on the table. Could you read back the motion for an amendment?
Motion that if bond is approved and if the city receives funding elsewhere, that the mayor can utilize unexpended bond funds on capital improvement at her discretion. Is that correct?
Throughout the city.
Throughout the city, I had that.
Mr. President,
Hold on for a moment.
Councilor Seer.
I'd like to come back.
Attorney Vitale?
I just want to ask if I put an amendment, add to that amendment, Council K will go along with it. Along with that amendment, that a strong recommendation from the council go to the mayor, that she takes an extremely serious look at the amendments that Councilor Trahan, Lozey, and myself have made before she makes any decision. So, is that legal to ask?
The council can certainly make a recommendation at any time.
Very strong recommendation. I'm not attached to the amendment, what I'm saying.
I think that would be more in the form of an individual recommendation beyond an amendment on the motion. Councilor Seer.
I'd be happy to add that language, as long as the very strong is changed to wicked strong.
Attorney Vitale, is that an acceptable amendment?
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Councilman.
I think the main amendment stands as Councilor Cahill has said. I think if you want to add a qualifier, that in the event that the mayor is, in her discretion, making a decision as to where those funds should go, the council has recommended, strongly recommended, that they go wherever the council will suggest.
Okay, then this is what we'll do. Instead of amending the amendment that neither have been voted upon, what we'll do, Councilor Cahill, suggest or ask if you withdraw your amendment, then resubmit your amendment as suggested by Attorney Vitale.
That's a minimum.
Do you have that language?
Okay, we're withdrawing the original one, we're putting in a motion that the bond is approved, and if the city receives funding elsewhere, that the mayor can utilize unexpended bond funds on capital improvement throughout the city at her discretion, with the strong recommendation that she consider the failed amendments made by the councilors.
I think you may want to suggest, not just that if the city receives grants, but if there's any excess funds, given the fact that something would come in at less than what you've suggested for it. So any excess funds,
Okay,
I think that's what you want to say, either by way of a grant or by overestimated cost.
Okay, that is my question.
and I think we have it. The clerk has that. Councilor Seer.
Thank you. If there is an overrun on any of these projects, is the mayor going to make the decision to use the money for those projects?
I think Councilor Cahill's motion is that the mayor
We have the mayor's discretion.
for capital improvements within the city. And I think
And the recommendation is just a recommendation, non-binding, would be, the mayor would have the ability in her position to do so as she wishes with those excess funds, if any are available, which might be an unlikely probability. Any further discussion on that amendment? Roll call.
Councilor Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Cahill?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Capano?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Calucci? Yes. Councilor Creighton?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Ford?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Lozey? Yes. Councilor Net?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Trahan? Yes. 11 yes.
Any further discussion? Any further amendments? Roll call on the original motion as amended.
Council Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Cahill?
Yes.
Yes. Council Capano?
Yes.
Yes. Council Calucci? Yes. Council Creighton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford?
Yes.
Yes. Council Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Council Net?
Yes.
Yes. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. 11 yes.
Public hearings to be set down.
We have one petition of Arthur Giros Realty Trust for a food establishment of pizza, roast beef, and sub sandwiches at 50 Weston Avenue, Unit 5. Hours of operation 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday through Saturday.
Motion to set down for public hearing. Discussion. Roll call.
Council Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Cahill? Yes. Council Capano? Yes. Council Calucci? Yes. Council Creighton? Yes. Council Seer? Yes. Council Ford? Yes. Council Lozey? Yes. Council Net?
Yes.
Yes. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. 11 yes. Unfinished business, we have a renewable energy report of December 11th, honor the mayor is hereby authorized to execute a 20-year contract with Train USA to perform energy efficient projects pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 25A.
Yes, motion to approve.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. Roll call.
Council Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Cahill? Yes. Council Capano? Yes. Council Calucci? Yes. Council Creighton? Yes. Council Seer? Yes. Council Ford? Yes. Council Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Council Net?
Yes.
Yes. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. 11 yes. Finance, we have four orders, I'm sorry. They all have emergencies. I'll read them all together. Order that the following transfers be made from the account of Fire Department expense 3,770.47, the interim reserve account 4,221.75, to the account of Fire Department prior year 7,992.22, from the account of aid of councilors unclassified to the account of aid of councilors home Human Rights Commission clerk 5,000. From the reserve account to the IT department, rent and lease expense $75,000. From the account of commissions expense to the account of aid to councilors, Human Rights Commission clerk $600.
Motion made, seconded to approve. Discussion. Roll call.
Council Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Cahill?
Yes.
Yes. Council Capano? Yes. Council Calucci? Yes. Council Creighton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Seer? Yes. Council Ford? Yes. Council Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Council Net? Yes. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan? Yes. 11 yes on the emergency. Council Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Cahill? Yes. Council Capano? Yes. Council Calucci? Yes. Council Creighton? Yes. Council Seer? Yes. Council Ford? Yes. Council Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Council Net? Yes. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan? Yes. 11 yes.
Any new business? Council Ford.
Council Calucci, I got 200,000 and Darren only got 50. If there's any money left over, the 75 in between, might be able to get back in the game. Okay.
All those in favor?